Sweet peeps. I'm sorry. I can't do that to y'all like that. Cut to the opening.
Hey, Mayo Sweet Peeps. It's your guy Ashiwa Ashi, and I'm here today. As I promised, today is the day where you have your weekly video. I did spend time editing and cutting this out. It's amazing what you can do when you got good people helping you out. I know last week I wasn't able to provide you with Monster Hunter Monday as usual. Instead, we did a little bit of fighting on Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath, but it's all good today. And so today I am going to have this video for you, and we're going to talk about Twitter because that's the highlight of our first video back into editing again. Yeah, so here we go. Oh man, like it's been forever. So this is how it goes down. It was 2011. I was back, well, not even back. I just started college. I attended HBCU all the way in Raleigh. If anybody is going to college, definitely scout your schools and do your research. But that's beside the point. This is about how Twitter began for me and why it took so long for me to get a Twitter. So again, it was around 2011. It was my first year being in college. Facebook was still in, MySpace was going down the drain, and I was just the beginner college guy, just doing my own thing and doing school. Well, I wasn't really doing good school, I was cutting up for a little bit, but I got back on track. But one day I was just sitting around doing homework, and I had a lot of friends with me, but it was one friend that stuck out, not dropping any names because that's for me to know and for them to remember. But pretty much I was sitting in the library doing my homework and all my things. And this was before the finals, like a couple weeks before the finals. Doing my homework, studying, doing whatever, yada yada yada. And occasionally me and a group of friends usually stopped in the library to get a couple things. Like test prep, do some homeworks, or even just chat with each other while doing homework. It was one day everybody was just in the library, being studious, but their phones would vibrate often, and I'm just doing my thing, getting my notes and A through E questions out of the way. And every time I glanced up, I would see somebody checking their phone, and I was like, "Oh, what's going on? Everybody got something important but me?" But I didn't ask that to them. I just, in my mind, I asked it. I was just looking, and then, everybody looked up, and it was like, oh my God, we're on Twitter, and blah, say, blah, say, blah. I'm like, what's Twitter? And it was like, you don't know about Twitter? And at the time, it's like, back then, if you didn't know about something when it just started, it kind of was like looking at a boomer. Like, you were just looking at somebody that was completely out of the league, or that just didn't know anything about it. And I was that one person that didn't know because I didn't bother to look into it. And so, yeah, they, stopped me and was like, you don't know about Twitter? And I'm like, no, I don't. I got Facebook. That's about it. And Twitter was, just surfacing and, rising up back then. But they're looking at me like, oh man, you should get a Twitter and you should be my first follower, at me and da da da. And I'm getting all this stuff chunked in my mind. I'm like, oh my God, pause. give me some time. Like, I need to recollect myself so I could understand everything that, you know, everybody else is giving to me. And I'm like, what? This was in 2011. I think I just turned, like, I was just turning 18. And I was like, oh my God, like, this is a lot for something that does less than Facebook but wants to be acclaimed to be something like Facebook. And so I was like, okay, like, it seems pretty cool. And I mean, I don't know. And it was one of my friends who was, you know, adamant about it, and she was like, oh my God, like, you should get it. It's like really cool. I was like, I heard a lot of things about it. I don't feel like, you know, downloading something that, you know, you're just updating every minute. Like, you go to the toilet and say, oh my God, I'm taking a massive bump.
Oh my God!
Oh my God, who says bump? I'm taking a massive dump. That, like, that. Like, oh my God, I'm taking a massive dump. Oh my God, this is happening. Oh my God, that. Like, I just didn't feel like getting 25 messages to 100 messages on nonsense. Like, I just wanted to be like, you know, something progressive, something long chain. Like, Facebook already had it for me. I was like, what's the point of Twitter? And my friend was like, oh my God, it won't hurt. Like, just download it and, you know, follow me. You'll be my first friend. I was like, I don't know. Like, can we not do this and just go back to doing work? And she was like, yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Like, we could do that. But, you know, just think about it. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll think about it. So a couple years passed. Oh, my God. I'm sorry. I said a couple years. Whew. No. What I meant to say was a couple days passed, because this was definitely before Thanksgiving break. And I was just, you know, getting ready to, you know, do my thing. And I was like, you know, get ready for your finals after Thanksgiving break. You're only going to have a couple more days for a session. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. So I go talk to my friends before I go do my trip home. And I didn't live that far from my HBCU. Like, it was just a 3-hour ride on Amtrak, 5 hours if I was taking Greyhound. And at first I took Greyhound back then. But I was talking to my friends and we went to the cafeteria and chatted about it. And the same friend that was in the library with me, she was like, you know, you should sign up. It won't hurt. It really won't. Like, I promise it'll be cool. And I was like, okay, I'll do it. Like, I mean, I was mentally drained about it and like really not suffering that hard, but I was drained. Like, I didn't really even want to do it. But, you know, when it comes to the college experience, you got to break that barrier. And I've been told that so many times by different people. God bless them. And I love them so much because they paved the way for me to be who I am now. So I was mentally exhausted from being, you know, asked to make a Twitter. And I was like, you know, okay, I'll go ahead and do it. I just said, why not? Like, I was just over it. So I took the time, made my little Twitter account, boom, got a Twitter. Ashi has his first Twitter in 2011. So I was like, you know, okay, it's not that bad. I'll just check it out. And she was happy that I made my Twitter. She added me immediately and she was like, yay, we're like Twitter followers. And I'm like, yay. Like, you know, yeah, that kind of yay. But I went and did what I did, packed up, got on the Greyhound and went straight home for my Thanksgiving break, which is only a couple days. Like, you only get like a week or less. But I did that. And don't judge me, y'all. It's been a while since I've been back in college. But yeah, I definitely went home and I pulled out my phone. And don't judge me because I know it was hot back then. And every one of y'all who's watching this or not, but anybody that grew up in my age and went to school when I did, y'all was on it too like hot sauce. I had to move music for a cell phone. And it was this tiny cell phone that fit in my hand like a Digivice from Digimon. Like I could have been a Digidestin with this phone with trap music or any kind of music on it. Don't judge. But yeah, I downloaded Twitter on there and cool. I'm listening to my music, you know, enjoying time with family, doing the thing that you usually do when you get home from college, which is like almost being away at a job for months and then coming home to see your family just to go back. But I did that, and the next morning when I woke up and it was like 9 o'clock in the morning, I kid you not, my phone was going off. Like, that bird whistle was gone, like, and my butt is staring at my phone like, what in the heck? I only followed one person. How many messages can get tweeted like that? I went and logged into my Twitter through the phone and looked at my phone, and it was the worst thing. It was really the worst thing because it was, you know, issue after issue, then something that didn't need to be said, then issue after issue after issue, then something nice, and then another nice thing, then it went back to something complicated and complicated and complicated, and I'm like, this is only one person. Like, if this is like Facebook, I don't follow everybody that I want to. And I wish somebody would have told me back then, because I would have definitely corrected it myself. I would have definitely followed anything and everything to see different kind of updates. But just imagine seeing an update after update from the same person, and it's not really positive, except for 1 and 2 times. And you're just like, why did I get it? And so it was like right there and then, like that very next hour after I saw the last post, I took my phone, went straight to the accounts, and went straight to delete account. And that was the last time I had Twitter in 2011. Went right back to school like nothing happened. Did my finals. Then went home for Christmas break. And then went back and continued school without Twitter. Like, I get Twitter is a different social platform now because it's been accessed in a different way. But Twitter drove me crazy back then, and I was not having it. And I've had friends, you know, contact me to, you know, make another Twitter again, and I'm like, my experience with Twitter isn't that bad, but I just don't want to go through it. Like, it's not for me at all. But, you know, after remaking my YouTube account and having this kind of platform to be on, I know there's viewers like you that would like to get in contact with me, and YouTube isn't the only thing I should be accessible to, even though, you know, some people feel that way. But I feel like you should be able to have multiple resources to, you know, talk to somebody. And if not Facebook, or Instagram, then what else? Twitter is definitely the best platform to get in contact for short and simple questions or short statements. But yeah, it definitely took a while for me to get a Twitter back. So that brings you to the conclusion of this video today, because I got a Twitter. And if you paid attention to last Monday, definitely told you there and then. But like I said, I have it here and now. So if you want to contact me for any questions or comments, or just, somebody to quickly talk to, I'll do my best to respond, or, be simple. But I'm a pretty chill guy. That's all my platform has to say to you. But yeah, that brings us to the end of this video. Thank you for listening to Monster Hunter Monday. Thank you for this Legiana being complicated too. But the name is Ashiwa Ashi. And you can like, comment, and subscribe when you get the chance. You can follow me on Twitter now. And have a wonderful night, my sweet peeps. I came in like a wrecking ball. I always hit so hard with swords. I said swords, yeah.